Again, my name is Ann DeVito. I am part of Intentional Marketer University, and I am broadcasting live with IMU BizNation to talk about a very important subject of how to protect yourself online, how to avoid being hacked. I don't know if any of you have had your accounts hacked, but we have here at Intentional Marketer University. Meredith had a pirate overtake her desktop computer. She actually saw the arrow being moved around in front of her eyes on her computer. So imagine how scary that would be to see somebody taking over your mouse on your computer where you have personal information stored. You have credit cards, you have your name, your address, all kinds of things saved on your computer. So at any rate, she ended up losing 5 or 6 Instagram accounts, and that was thousands of followers that she had worked on before we got together with IMU and after. So Intentional Marketer University followers, thousands of them, had been nurtured for over 3 years, and we lost them forever. She lost them forever. So basically we had to start over. So we want to avoid things like that from happening, and nobody is safe from this. One of the most favorite internet entrepreneurs, obviously, Mark Zuckerberg, who founded Facebook, he is probably the most famous entrepreneur, internet at least. I don't know, you could probably consider Microsoft and Apple, of course, the pioneers of entrepreneurship in the computer industry, internet industry. But anyway, Mark Zuckerberg recently had all of his social media accounts hacked. And while they didn't infiltrate his Facebook account, they were able to get into his LinkedIn, his Twitter, and his Pinterest accounts. So they started putting screenshots out on those accounts in his name saying, just checking your security. So imagine what an embarrassment that would have been for Facebook and Mark Zuckerberg. So let's just go over a couple of the common cybercrimes out there, 4 common cybercrimes. Again, I posted the link to the blog post out on goimu.com. And we posted that link, and you can see the infographic there and a little more detail from the article. But people all over the world are using the internet to commit many crimes, some of which people do not even know are even capable of being committed online. So number one is called phishing. The goal is to, and that's spelled with a PH. The goal is to trick people into handing over their credit card details or access protected systems. So if you sometimes see emails to your Hotmail saying, click here. I don't know, it seems like most of us are savvy to phishing scams, but there are some vulnerable people like either teenagers or younger users, not computer savvy users. Elderly people seem to get caught in this phishing scam. So basically, people are being tricked into handing over their credit card information over the internet, like somebody posing as Amazon is one of the phishing scams, or your bank saying to revalidate your bank account. Your banks are sending out emails saying they would never do this. They would never ask you for credit card information online. If you get an email that you want to say looks completely legitimate, then I would still put in a call or even an email help desk to get to your bank saying, did you send this? If not, this is going around. So second, of course, is identity theft. You can use services like LifeLock, which I actually have myself and my husband subscribe to, just to keep an eye on my social security numbers and everything, since I run business online and have an incredible following on Instagram and Twitter and our blog and Facebook. It ends up to be thousands and thousands of followers, upwards of like 60, 70,000 between all of the accounts. So of course I want to protect myself. Somebody a little more public out there, so somebody might take to trying to hack my accounts. And then hacking, of course, it's found that 9 records are exposed every second, and it's estimated that 90% of all data records are a result of hackers. All data records stolen are a result of hackers employed by organized crime. So the mob has changed, people. We are in the internet. It's no longer like prohibition and slinging alcohol. It's internet crime, stealing credit cards. And what they do is they take this information and they go into places called fraud forums, and they buy and sell your information. So that's pretty scary if you ask me. So just, these are free ways. We're going to go into free, easy ways that you can protect yourself from this happening to you. So number 4, cybercrime, most popular, most common cybercrime would be online harassment, of course. So over half of our children and teens are bullied online. 73% adult users have reported seeing somebody harassed, and 40% of adult users report being harassed themselves. So those are the 4 most common cyber crimes, and they are punishable by law now. So if that ever happens to you, of course, you can report it to the authorities. So you don't have to be a high-powered corporation with a huge security budget to be able to combat some of these cyber crimes. You can implement your own security measures in your online behavior. So a couple of the free ways that you can protect yourself. So I can say that many of you are here because you are trying to do your businesses online. You are have social media followings. You have Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. You have a website. You use probably your banking and your PayPal online. So this applies to you. This information does apply to you. It's not necessarily, this week we're not talking about targeting followers or customers or sales, but this is definitely important to your business to stay safe and stay trustworthy. People are going to submit their credit cards and their PayPal to pay for your product. They want to know that you're safe and you're doing business in a safe way. So number 1, if you take any advice from this video, from this workshop, from this blog post at all, it would be this one. Make sure that you have a strong password, which is high strength, including not easy words or numbers, special characters, and make sure they're unique. So never save your passwords on a computer that you share with somebody. Way back in the day when I was working in my corporate world job, I literally would put my passwords on sticky notes. You cannot do that anymore. And secondly, you don't want to use the same password twice or, more than once. Unique passwords for each account, especially your secure accounts like PayPal or your bank or, anything social media. You don't want somebody out there going and tweeting for you and making an embarrassment of your account. So that happened to Mark Zuckerberg. I'm sure he was extremely embarrassed to find that, the guru of the entire world who has billions of users on Facebook was able to get hacked. That's not cool. So many of us have used the same passwords on our accounts for years and years. And what's worse, the top 25 passwords have the word password in them, or 123456, ABC123. The best way to keep your online accounts secure is not to use the same password in more than one place. Here are a few tips for choosing passwords. Don't reuse them. To make a memorable password, think of an usual sentence and then using the first letter of each word. So another special character tip I have is for the letter A, I will use an @ or the letter I, I'll use an exclamation point. And you can use a password manager if you want to. It's called 1Password is one that we found out there that you can store and generate secure passwords and store them online. So for example, of a memorable sentence, you could say, I love my hometown. I-L-M-H. I love my hometown. @ a group of numbers. So, of course, those are hard to remember, but you can keep them stored somewhere safe. And I think whenever I change my passwords within a week, I've got them memorized. And if I don't, I just keep them somewhere and I'll eventually have them memorized. So think before you click. If you receive a message from someone that you trust, you should still stop and think. Ask yourself, does this person usually send me a direct message on Twitter? I mean, I can't think of one of my friends or one of my colleagues that sends me messages on Twitter. They usually email me or text me. So if I received a message on Twitter, I would say, hey, Allison, did you send me this message? Likely they'll say, yeah, I sent it, but they could say, no, I didn't send you anything. I'm not even on Twitter. So does the subject or the attachment make sense? If you have any questions, just send a message asking them, did you send me this? And then another tip is to edit the message by checking for misspellings or grammatical errors. You know, if there are many of them, chances are they're from a hacker. So little quick note, send it to your friend, or a quick check, edit check will save you a lot of headache. And a quick one, number 3, is to stay up to date on your software and your hardware. You get these pop-up messages from Microsoft or Apple on the corner of your computer. Downloading an update, those usually mean that they have increased and made enhancements to the security features on their computer hardware. So it would be smart to download that stuff. And then finally, if you find any issues, if you get hacked, go ahead and send out a big message to your following saying, hey guys, I was hacked. I'm sorry if I sent you anything appropriate. It wasn't for me. I've gone ahead and changed all my passwords. I just want you to know that I apologize for it. People are very forgiving when it comes to that. And then also send a quick note to the support desk of the social network and let them know that your account was hacked. So they know there's an issue, they can research it, and they can not lock up your account. So a final note about this is that remember, what goes online stays online. This is one of the things we teach our young people who don't quite understand the repercussions of actions in their brains yet. So basically, you can go ahead and tweet something ridiculous or mean-spirited or embarrassing, and even if you delete it, somebody can grab a screenshot of it and share that out, retweet it out, hundreds of thousands of times. It's just never going away. Anything you put online will not go away. Even if you delete it, it's chances are somebody grabbed it. That's, Snapchat's features, that your Snapchat is gone within, X amount of minutes or hours. But you know what? Somebody could have grabbed a quick screenshot on their iPhone and shared that out to all of their accounts, and it's there forever. So overall, these points are mainly common sense. So if an offer or a link on an email sounds too good to be true, that chances are it probably is. So if you get a phone call, of course, most of us don't answer our phones anymore, but if you get an email or a phone call offering some big payout, it's not true. I'm sure it's not true. It's actually happened to my grandmother. It's really, really disappointing and frustrating to have these people harassing elderly people who don't necessarily know what's going on out there in cyber world. But I mean, my grandmother was convinced that she won $150,000. She only needed to send $3,000 to claim her prize, and they did not let up. They kept harassing. So this happens. It happens out there, and now it's more online and on your social. So it's the world we live in, and you might as well learn how to live in it safely. So that, my friends, is our topic for today. Quick and easy ways how you can avoid being hacked online. Hope it was helpful for you. I know when I was writing this blog post, when I was preparing for this video, I went and changed a bunch of passwords on my social media because I was like, hey, I better do this myself, because I would be really disappointed to find out if somebody got into my accounts and started, posting random things. That would be embarrassing for me. So anyway, I hope this was helpful to you, and I hope you have a great day, and we will talk to you next week in our Wednesday workshop. Have a great